Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Colton Gobbo about season 2 of Ginny Georgia, streaming now on Netflix. And we're also, of course, talking about season 2 of Son of a Crtich on CBC and CBC Genn. Welcome back to the show, man. It's so good to see you again.
Oh, man, it's so good to see you, to hear your voice. Thank you for having me back, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. It's Colton Gobbo season, right? This is great.
I don't know about that, man. That's
no, it's just really cool that two shows of yours are coming out around the same time. Like, it's pretty awesome.
Oh, it's wild, man. And oh my gosh, of course, get it out of the way. So grateful. My gosh, this is amazing. Never thought it'd be happening, but hey, here we are. Back on Popternative, baby, season 2.
Absolutely, season 2 for both shows. You get word that Ginny Georgia's coming back. Like, Jordan's returning, he's coming back and everything. Mm-hmm. Is the mindset, let's see where the story goes, let's see where certain characters go? Like, what is the mindset? Is it a little bit of both specifically from an acting perspective?
Yeah, a little bit of both, a little bit of riding the train. And I mean, we shot season 1 back in 2019, right? We finished December 2019. So then after COVID, after the delay of it coming out, and then finally hearing that we're going back, more than anything, it was just excitement to be back with those people and to be back with these characters and the show. And oh my gosh.
Is it kind of a really interesting thing where, you know, the flashbacks in the present day and your character is part of the present day with Ginny and her social life at school and everything and her friend group? It's interesting because I feel like season 2 flashbacks really, like, you see like Ginny older and she's growing and everything. And then there's kind of like this kind of more, like, I feel like the flashbacks in season 2 are more relatable for kind of the present day stuff. Do you know what I mean by that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they did a really great job kind of nailing down those things that people wanted to see and making it somehow even more relatable. And that's, I think, the basis of this whole season, just exploring these new things that are expanding on the first season, doing it better. They knew what they did well and they improved. Man, it's awesome.
Your character is there as kind of like the comic relief at times, and then we started before. I mean, he's got some good lines this year, and you said a lot of them were like off the cuff, right? It just kind of happened.
Off the cuff, yeah. That's the nice thing about working on series, and I mean, this is the first time Ginny Georgia and Crtich are the first time I'm working on a second season of something that I've been back. So getting right back, like we never missed a beat. And getting that ease and being able to play around a lot more, just let a lot of fun stuff fly, man.
And they happen to both be coming back around the same time.
Around the same time, January. I don't know what it is, but what a kickoff to 2023. It's
Colton Gobbo season. I'm telling you. I'm going to brand it. Popternative special, Colton Gobbo season.
Man, whenever I'm feeling down, I got to start giving you a ring. This is the pep I need, my step right here, man.
Okay, it's funny because, all right, so I get that a lot, right? Like your energy and like you're like, this is so great. Here's how I look at it, and I'm sure you're gonna agree with me, right? You are on Ginny Georgia. Ginny Georgia is on Netflix. People from all over the world love Ginny Georgia. They love the characters in Ginny Georgia. If we're not excited about it, what's the point of all this?
Oh, man, good stuff. I love that. Yeah, my God.
No, seriously, what's the point of all this? If we're not engaged and having a good time, being energetic, what is the point? You know what I mean?
And personally, I think this is much more interesting. And for my standpoint, talking to you and for people watching, who wants to watch? Yeah, you know, and it was like really fun, man. What's going
on with Nora and Jordan this season?
Yeah, what do you know? This is perfect. You have an amazing energy, dude. I appreciate it.
People loved our first interview, but our first interview, I don't remember, was like a Son of a Crtich interview. Like, I think there was a little bit of Ginny Georgia, but now it's kind of like the switch flip. You know what I mean? Now it's like Ginny Georgia. Right. But I do want to ask about Son of a Crtich because I find it really cool because you're on a show on Ginny Georgia that has flashbacks. Son of a Crtich is a flashback. Is that cool to kind of see both of those, that you're on both shows? Like, one has a flashback, one is a flashback, so to speak?
Absolutely, man. It's two different time periods, and it's getting to play in both those things. And there are a lot of similarities, I guess, between Jordan and Mike Jr., but there are a lot of differences. I mean, two totally different times, but somehow they both grow weed. Don't know how that happened, but yeah, seeing
It's so true. I didn't even think about that.
Man, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna blame the hair, and I will say the hair.
That just blew my mind right now. I didn't even think about that.
But man, even that, the difference between like Mike Jr. growing this plant and it being hush hush, and then flip to Ginny and Georgia, and it's so out. And my God, every single party that you see, we have. I will say, I don't know if this is a spoiler. Pootie Tang does make a return. The little homemade bong. So that's the star of the show, I would say.
100%.
Might I be so bold?
So that we're on that. I mean, this interview, by the time this interview is out, the season's out. We're not going to the big things, but there's music in season 2 of Ginny and Georgia. There is a band.
There is.
You are
there
rocking.
Is,
you're a bass. You play bass, right?
I do. Yes.
Do you play bass in real life?
No, man. Up until this season, never played bass. But this was awesome. It was the first job I got to do that. They sent me the bass, and they sent the music, and they sent the sheet
music. Can
music.
you play a bit of bass now?
Yes, sir. Learn to play the songs that we needed to play, and then may have held on to it for like a couple extra weeks, and then learned some of my own stuff. And now I play the bass. Apparently,
the bass.
But I had a good friend of mine help me out and teach me the ropes, because believe it or not, it's not easy to just hop into an instrument and learn in a weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shocker.
Well, you know, PD Beats came, like, I played drums, right? And that was like when I was in bands, that was like my stage name was PD Beats. So that's like where it came from. Yeah, everyone always asks. Because like my first passion, I would say, was like, it's funny because it's like full circle. My first full passion was film. Like film was like the thing I was interested in and everything. And then I really got into music for a lot of like my 20s and everything. And now we're kind of back, right? Where I'm interested in being creative and everything. It's crazy, right? Where stuff that you like in the, like when you're younger kind of stays with you and comes back.
Oh, it comes full circle. So I've got a question for you,
Yes,
PD Beats. What movies were the ones that got you into it? Got that spark going?
It's okay. So
tough question. I know. I won't say favorite because, you know, it switches with the day. But
I would say, okay, so my favorite movie of all time is School of Rock.
Oh, baby. Okay.
So
a man of taste.
Yeah.
Okay.
So School of Rock. And then I would say like Napoleon Dynamite, because I just love that kind of like, what is going on here humor. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I will say then, because I'm a big horror movie guy and everything, and I want like, #book Colton Gobbo in a horror movie. I would love to see that happen. You love to do that. That'd be great.
Oh, of course, man. Something that's on the bucket list. Never been killed on screen. That's maybe at the top.
Is like, do we have to put you in as like a stoner? That basically
some stoner who gets too high.
So
and
it's
then kills in the horror
interesting.
movie.
So the movie recently that really got me into like wanting to be a creative, because I have a lot of projects. I wrapped a short horror film. I think I told you about that. In May, I wrapped a short horror film and everything. There's a movie in 2015 called The Invitation, which is it was on Netflix. Now I think it's back on Shudder, but it's in 2015, and it's basically like dinner party gone wrong, and it's got Logan Marshall Green and Mike and Mikhail Huisman. Like, it's a really, really good movie, but it was like dinner party gone wrong and like uncomfortable and everything, and like what is going on, and all these characters saying things and being like, why did you say that? That's the one that really got me into filmmaking, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
Killer, man. That's awesome. And I don't know if I've said it. Congratulations on wrapping the horror movie. That's amazing.
Absolutely. There's a lot of projects brewing as well. It's gonna probably happen. Me and you are gonna collab on something. We don't even know what it's gonna be.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, man. Whenever you need, we'll do anything for Popternative, man.
Oh, absolutely. No, I might take you up on that offer. What is your I'm gonna. Because it's probably the people you get to work with is the answer to this question, but I'm not letting you give that answer.
Oh, man, I got it. Where's my notebook?
What is your favorite thing about being part of Ginny and Georgia? Because you're gonna like the people. I mean, it's great.
Like,
right?
you know I'm gonna say the people, and I'm sure everyone says the same thing because it's truly just a blessing, these people.
Yeah.
Man, favorite thing about the show as a whole, or this season specifically?
Ooh.
Oh, flip Uno reverse, baby.
Pick Pick your poison. Like, which one do you want to go?
Okay. So people aside, we know this. It's got to be, and I think I just kind of touched on it, but the comfortability coming into it and being able to go off the fly and improv and vamp a little more is always something I love, because really, I feel like for writers, obviously you have to respect the work that they write on the page, all that stuff. But when you get just that hint of freedom and being able to throw stuff in, it brings a whole new life to it, man. Like it makes it so much more natural, and you make these connections and you start these bits that, you know, in season 1 of Son of a Crtich, there were a couple bits of me eating. And then in season 2, I eat a lot. Like, it just fully became a bit, and it was never written in until this season, just because these are the things I pick up, and I don't know, some people maybe find as funny. And yeah, so I would say people is the easy answer, man. I can tell that everyone said this, but definitely the improv and the comfortability of being able to vamp and do all that good stuff.
There's so many questions. It's funny because I've done over like 1,000 interviews, man. It's crazy. And like sometimes I'll like, dude, the pandemic, man. Like, think about it though, right? Like, that's all I did.
Man, that's all that was going on.
That's all. You think about it, right? So like,
good on you for keeping that going, man. That's what we needed during that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, there were so many Instagram lives. It was crazy. But I feel like a lot of questions I ask, like that one, your favorite thing, it's the people always, or like, what do you hope people get out of it? Someone was like, I hope they get entertained. And I'm like, well, of course. Like, so I'm kind of like, I always like set up the question, like, besides entertainment, Colton, what do you hope they get out of it when they watch Son of a Crtich?
That's fair. But the crazy thing is, some people forget sometimes that we're here to entertain. Like, it is a show for entertainment, for people to resonate with, of course, to learn things and to grow but also to be entertained. Like, I don't know. I don't want to commit 10 hours of my life to watching something if it's not entertaining.
Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean like upbeat.
Yeah, the relatability aspect though, man, like when you're in the basement with the crew, the friend crew with Ginny and Abby and Nora and everyone, and like just playing the bands, like think about how many people in high school look at those scenes, right? And say, that was my friend group. Like, think about that, right? Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I think this show hits stride, man. I think people look at these characters and say, I had a Jordan in my class. You know what I mean by that, though, in a serious note? Like, I think that's it. Yeah. 100%.
And it even carries over while we were shooting it. Like, we've all had those experiences, so we kind of had an understanding of, okay, well, there's going to be, Press is over on the couch. He's got something going on. Who knows? You guys are playing music. Girls are... Like, it's relatable. It really is relatable. And the cool thing, again, we're backtracking. You were talking about the flashbacks, Ginny Georgia versus Crtich. In Ginny and Georgia, you have that relatability. And then in Crtich, you have this whole other generation that's finding it relatable.
Yes.
Of all the old 80s throwbacks and the music and the design and the costumes. It's all hitting some part of someone's memory.
It's so crazy. And when does it start kind of hitting you when, like, the stuff you make comes out to the world? Because right now, like, both those shows are like, they're yours and the cast and crews, but then like come like January, it's kind of out of your hands, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Does it start hitting you?
Anything else.
Does it start hitting you like when you do press and like a week before? Is that when it kind of starts hitting you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest hit is when it actually comes out. And when we get access to it. Like, it became real the first time I was seeing clips of season 2 of Ginny and Georgia, and it was like, oh damn, like we did this. This is okay, well. And again, it's just that feeling, which I think is really important for all the creative people. At some point, it's just out of your hands. You can't stress about it. You got to just enjoy. I love watching. I still have a hard time watching myself, but I love watching my friends and all these people, like, and applauding them. It's for them, not so much for me.
That's a third question I stopped asking. What was it like kind of seeing your scenes? I don't know. I haven't watched my stuff. And it's like,
well,
you learn so much from doing interviews where you're like, wow, strike 1, strike 3, you're out.
You're going through you got the whiteboard right next to you. Like, hey, well, scrap. Yeah.
And no, it's so crazy and everything. No, I'm so happy for you and the cast and crew and everyone. Could we give a shout out to the crew? the Ginny and Georgia crew. Let's give a shout out to the crew.
Oh, my God.
There's no show if there's no crew.
Absolutely. Especially this season, shooting in all the COVID protocols and everyone, like these people working so many hours a day with their masks on and not taking a break and putting their heart into it. It's can never be overlooked. After I booked my first movie, my mom made a point that every time we ever go to the movies, you sit through the credits. Like you pay your respect to all these people who gave so much, and just because their face isn't on camera, arguably we do the least most of the time.
Yeah.
Like we're just saying words, man, and I love it, and it's a blessing, but oh my God, please give credit, give respect to the entire crew. That extends, sound team, lighting team, the writers, the producers, everyone. So absolutely huge shout out to all of them on Ginny Georgia and on Crtich both.
It really is it's a team sport. And I think it's like a team sport, except on the field you're on with like 20 people and but it's like 500 people. Too many men.
It's like an iceberg, man. It just keeps going. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. Colton, always a pleasure catching up, man. Thank you so much for coming back on the show, dude. Seriously.
Oh, Pete, man, I can't thank you enough for having me. Of course, anytime, man. This is awesome. So good to see you. So good to be back.
Colton Gobbo season starts in January 2023. Season 2 of Ginny and Georgia on Netflix. Season 2 of Son of a Crtich on CBC and CBC Gem. And your Instagram account, is it just your name? Or wait, no, it's like Colton Soar or something? Or did you change it?
Coltosaur. It is still Coltosaur. It is.
See how I remember that?
Man, good on you. This is not your first rodeo, sir.
Oh, man, it's amazing. Well, this has been PopTurnative, youtube.com/PopTurnative for previous episodes. Of course, you're going to be able to catch Colton Gobbo as Jordan in season 2 of Ginny and Georgia, streaming now on Netflix, and also Son of a Crtich on CBC and CBC Gem. Until next time, it's Colton and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to PopTurnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of PopTurnative on YouTube. Be sure to like PopTurnative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.